Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts on the CNSL Season 7. Right now we're going to be going into the third match in the round of 8, game number 2. It's going to be on Retro. Looking at that first game on Neo Dark Origin, if you have not watched that, go back and watch it. Do yourself a favor. Motive playing out of his mind. Just it felt like almost a flawless long PvZ. It was beautifully executed. I loved it. If he keeps up that level, it's going to be really hard for Saber to even win a game here. So we're going to go ahead and get into game number 2. Let's get it started. Down here in the bottom left of Retro, we have Saber. And in the bottom right, we have Motive. All right. I'm excited right now. I really am. The quality of that first game, just that gets me excited. You know, like I actually watch a fair amount of Protoss vs. Zerg. So I would say, like, you know, obviously I watch by far the most Terran vs. Protoss, then Terran vs. Zerg. And then it's like, actually Terran vs. Terran, it might be 4th after Protoss vs. Zerg. It's just much easier to find, like, good quality PvZ games. Like, for instance, in KCM, you never get mirror matchups, right? But it's either Terran versus Terran or Protoss versus Zerg is my third most watched matchup. And then, you know, PvP would be probably my least watched, and Zerg versus Zerg my second least watched. But, you know, I watch a lot of PvZ, is what I'm trying to say. For a matchup that I just don't play, and, you know, obviously a lot of my time watching the game, like, for fun, I would, like, steer more towards Terran players. I study, you know, more Terran games and stuff like that. But, you know, with a lot of PvZs under my belt, I gotta say, like, really, that first game was amazing. That was a really fantastic game. I tell you, you know what? I gotta give some credit to Saber, because Saber's been a part of a lot of really good games. Wasn't he Ruin's opponent in that insane game on Apocalypse, the best game of the tournament? I believe he was, right? And he actually lost, and then, what was it, Piano retired out of the group, or Tyson retired out of the group, one or the other, and then Saber got the spot here, and here he is in the round of 8. You know, anyways, it takes 2 players to make a great game. Anyways, really well played from Motive. He is going to scout Saber first here, and as you can see, just kind of keeping this alive, trying to harass a little bit. He has gone for a Forge, so he's going to play a defensive opener here. One thing that I was talking about in the previous game, if you recall, was the balance of Zealot creation and speed of the Stargate, okay? So that's going to be something that I want to kind of watch here and talk about here a little bit, because that, you know, I'm always really fascinated with concepts like that. You know, some of the harder to understand things are like the temple of situations, and, like, you know, these where it's like, okay, you have to consistently do this to produce this type of result, right? And I think that this is a great example for this matchup of something that you have to do. And maybe underlined because it's a Forge Fast expansion, right? Because with the Forge Expand, your Gateway does come later. But with the Forge Expand, your Nexus comes earlier, right? So that's the balance, isn't it? That's the balance. You get into that double pro production, your economy gets a little bit of a boost. Okay, now here come the Lings trying to get in. Oh, gosh. He's going to get in with 2 only. Okay, that was actually pretty good blocking considering. Pretty good blocking considering. Unfortunate that 2 got in. We'll see what type of damage Saber can get done with these 2 Lings. You know, sometimes you're going to get a lot. Good micro from Motive so far. You have to be very careful in these situations, because if you let anything sit, like right there, notice how he started to move it before they got there. Basically, if your probe is in the middle of mining on a patch, as the 2 Lings come up to attack, you're going to lose it. You need to start to move it, like, basically as they're coming up. Okay, so see this one? See that? See what I mean? He did not pre-move that one as these 2 came up. And if they start attacking at the same time, that damage output is basically high enough to guarantee that probe kill. So you got to be careful. Okay, so see, he gets this one out, but that's, 1 was attacking. He blocked with 2 other probes. But this is the thing. These are the situations that Saber is looking for right now. By the way, back at home, Saber going into layer. He has his natural up. He has a 3rd base going. Over here, you know, a Zealot going up across the map, right? So he is producing and trying to go across the map and get a little bit more intel with that. Make sure his opponent isn't only droning or something like that. The one Zergling with just a kill, still running around a bit. This probe drawing the Lings up as the Zealot goes into the natural, and he's going after the drones. Okay, gets one drone. That's really good, right? Because he's forcing Lings and kills a drone. So that's like, that's very, very nice here for Motive so far. All right, finally. Oh, I thought the Ling was dead. I guess not. Still alive. Still going after drones. Oh, he gets a second one. Are you kidding me? Amazing, amazing moves here from Motive. The fact that he has 2 kills already is pretty big. You know, I think Saber may have been focusing a little bit too heavily on that Zergling micro in that main base, and he just didn't realize, because he only had 2 Lings when the Zealot got to his base. So yeah, I think he was focused. He was dialed in a little bit too much on trying to make those Lings work, and now he's taking massive damage. He's lost 3 drones. That's big for this stage of the game. That's huge. Look at this. Like, he could have 22 drones right now. Absolutely does not. Can have 23 drones. You know, he's always going to be 3 down from where he should have been. And, you know, those would have been mining that whole time, which is a huge difference. Well, not exactly, right? A little bit later, because you would have had to make another pair of Zerglings when that first Zealot was coming. So, anyways, you know, there's a lot of moving parts in StarCraft. Speedlings over here now. He's showing off that speed upgrade, runs near the wall. Very good wall in so far. +1 on the way. And it is a Hydras den, but this is a lair already, right? Nothing too dangerous going on, honestly. The first Corsair is going to be coming out. He is getting that +1 air attack as well. Citadel on the way. And, of course, the Corsair... Oh, that is actually... Sorry. First Corsair is already out over here. Second Corsair is on the way. And he sees, okay, Hydras den. The Hydras are going to be playing defense on the Overlords for a little bit. You probably, in this case, want to get Overlord speed right away. Like, you know, basically before an attack is when you would want Overlord speed. Very, very likely here. Flies up here. Very annoying stuff. No Hydras to help. Second Corsair comes out. You're having to split these Hydras off a little bit. Man, really, really good play here. And there's the Overlord speed I was talking about, right? If you're going for a Hydralisk base strat, you definitely do need that Overlord speed quickly. It's just, it's so hard to defend otherwise. If you go for Spire, right, your Scourge kind of keep everything safe for a bit, so you don't have to think about that as much. And also, there's no window, no, like, early window for a Hydra attack. Here, because he started Hydras right away, there is a possibility of a window for a Hydralisk attack, but you need Overlord speed in case they make a Dark Templar. All right, so Overlord speed still coming. Range on the way. The Corsairs are actually doing real good work. Look at that, 4 Overlord kills already. They are getting very low, so he's going to want to be careful about that. Starts to pull out. Okay, we'll be able to save that. Zealot's just kind of waiting at that 3rd base location. +1 attack is done. I think he's just waiting on legs. There is that Dark Templar on the way. Definitely a good time for a Dark Templar. Going up to 4 gates at the moment. Speed about to finish. And, of course, with that +1, he will mangle these Zerglings. He can actually attack in here and use the Corsairs on the Overlords as soon as speed is done. Look at this. Okay, gets in. The Zerglings aren't going to do anything. Watch this. This is going to be crazy. Okay, he gets Overlord speed. Really important that he got that. Notice that Hydras are trying to attack the Corsairs because he just doesn't want a massive supply block. See, he's microing these over and doing that. In the meantime, some of his drones are dying, trying to block the Zealots. Dude, I think Motive's just going to take this second game. This is, like, he is playing so well. 51 probes to 27 drones right now. Just such good play. And, like, this will be held. Saber's not dead yet. And, in fact, you can see what his plan is. His plan is to get Overlord drops. So he's going to do something pretty cheesy, kind of surprising, and see if he can come back from that. So I think it's not a bad choice. I will get on board with, I think that's actually a very reasonable choice. I do want to mention that while Zerg buildings pulsate, they don't change, like, speed of pulsation or anything like this to show that they're upgrading. So, like, he has no idea that this is upgrading. You never know if the Hydras den, anything. Nothing for Zerg tells if it's upgrading. Oh, well, other than, you know, when the hatchery or the spire or whatever is upgrading, right? Then it turns into like that cocoon thing and tells you. But that's it. That's it. Yeah, I've mentioned before that I do think that StarCraft, it feels like it's slightly unfinished. Every single Terran building shows if it's upgrading or building anything, and Terran has concussive damage, and Terran does a bunch of splash damage to itself, right? It has all these different ideas that the other races just don't have, which are actually all bad for competitive play. And then you look at Protoss, and Protoss is like halfway there. Like half of their buildings show that they're upgrading and half don't, and half show that they're building and half don't. Or, well, actually slightly less than half show that they're building, right? Like the Stargate shows, but Robo Gateway, etc. don't show. And then Zerg has nothing other than larva and the morphing of buildings. So there's something about it where it just kind of feels like, oh, probably they meant to do this for all of them, and then they just didn't do it. Anyways, a DT being dropped off in this main base. Holy crap. Some serious, serious damage going down. Saber doesn't realize it. Dude, this game's over. This game's over. There's no way that you win this ever in a million years. Even with like the sickest drop ever. He's killed every drone. He's got 13 kills on this DT. He's going to the natural now. Overlord's loaded up. Dude, there's no. Just no. All right, so 7 goons on the way. 8 goons on the way even. And look at this. He's got plenty of units out of the natural. He sees this coming. He knows that this is coming. The DT, by the way, 22 kills, 23 kills. We're going to see a GG. Very, very, very one-sided game. This might be a very one-sided series, in fact. You know. It's pretty wild. One of these Overlords did not even unload. And, you know, Saber, like, he's attacking the front. He's trying to get something done. You know, again, doesn't seem like it's actually possible. He has no drones at home. He's 7 drones total. So, not very much play left here for him, unfortunately. GG, let's go into game 3. All right, so game 3 here on Apocalypse. We have Motive in the bottom right, or bottom left, and in the bottom right, we have Saber. You know, 2 pretty dominating games from Motive. It's not that Saber is necessarily playing poorly. He's really good. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone plays with him, guys. He plays in the tournaments. He's shown great games in this one. But Motive just on fire here today and looking fantastic. Seriously, he keeps this level of play up. I've been saying it now for a couple of years. I think Motive is really, really edging up on the brink of being like a solid ASL player consistently. But it's hard, man. And it's not just about the play skill that you might see in a tournament like this. A lot of it has to do with managing your own mind, right? Like, so much of that. Like, do you know how to keep your cool and play your best when it really matters? You know, I feel really bad because there are these players that are having a hard time with the last inch of like a 10,000-mile journey, you know? Because that last inch is like almost as much as the rest of the journey. It's, you know, you have players that have played for years and years and years. Like, look at Scan, for instance, right? He crushed Ruin. He looked so good. You can't tell me he doesn't look better than a lot of ASL players. He's only been in ASL 1 time. Yeah, some of it's bad luck to brackets and everything, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like, when you want something so badly, by the way, this is like a 6 pool. Holy crap. When you want something so badly, sometimes that, you know, that is like what ends up holding you back. You know what I mean? I think you do. I think everyone knows exactly what I mean here, where it's just like, oh, God, I want this. And then you kind of fail, like, because of how badly you want it. Yeah, it's tough. And some people deal with that and some people do not. And yeah, it's... Anyways, enough talk about that. Saber with the 6 pool. I believe against this, you just have to make a cannon in your main and you give this up. I know against 4 pool, that's what you have to do, is you just give up the natural area. Now, he's hidden a probe here. This is actually really, 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 really important, okay? Because the Lings will either run past this or kill this. Oh, wow, I'm very surprised at this. Okay, if the Lings run past, this is good. Okay, it's good. So, he's sneaking this, and you have to sneak it, because if you can get this area held, you win the game, okay? So, let's see. He gets his cannon up. Cannon's up. And he'll probably... Okay, so he's bringing his probes to fight because again, if you get this place up, if you get this to hold on, okay, it's not going to work. He needs to send his probes back. This is silly. This is really silly. You know, it was a sneaky idea and it almost worked. Honestly, if he had started this cannon later, it may have ended up working because the Lings would have stayed in here and microed around. That's really interesting. But yeah, the only problem against something like a 4-pool, 6-pool, 7-pool, whatever, is re-getting up your natural, right? Whereas if you get even one cannon up, the game basically ends because Zerg is so far behind at that point. Now, he didn't quite get it. He didn't quite get it. And I think there is, like, you know, it's super rare that I play Protoss or Zerg. And I have played a few games that are like this type of position. I never thought of this, but like sneaking the cannon and slowing this one down so the Lings stay here and try to kill probes is probably much better. If you can lose 2 or 3 probes but hold this, amazing deal. Amazing deal. All right, so Zealot on the way. Secondary gateway. Seems as if where he had it before did not work out. Probe scouting over here. And now you're basically going to play against a 3 hatchery Zerg with 2 gates in your main. That's kind of tough, right? Not a very good position. You're going to have to hope to kind of outscale your opponent pretty massively here. This feels like a situation where you may want to wait for 5 Zealots. Maybe 3, but maybe 5. Well, here, I guess the timing, it's going to work out to 4. It's going to go in even numbers because he canceled the secondary gateway. Normally, you can start the second gate like about 1 Zealot production after the first, so you'll just have them popping out by 2s like that, right? But anyways, pushes out with these 2. It looks like he's just going to try to get that Nexus up. Going to need to throw down a pylon as well. I don't think that's a great pylon placement. I actually think you should build it here and just do frontal cannons like you're playing BGH or something. So Zergling speed is on the way, as well as a lair. Lair could be a very good call here. I can't imagine him, you know, getting up to Corsairs or something. Like, you're just going to have to play a very gateway-centric approach. Maybe go up to Dark Archon if we get that far into the game. Ling's coming around for a counterattack as the 4 Zealots move out. Oof. They can't really turn around, right? Lots of Lings being made. Yeah, I think just mathematically at this point, you're very close to dead. They start to turn around. Oh, no. Very, very bad situation. Okay, brings probes out. He's going to try to hold it. Lot of Lings coming across. Speed is about to finish another 12 Zerglings, so he's going to have 17 Lings, it looks like. That should be enough if they get the surround. No pylon up yet, so he has to wait for that to make his cannon. 18 Lings. And a ton more on the way. Yeah, he should be able to break through this before cannons are up. If you could start 2 cannons right now, maybe you have a chance. All right, here we go. Mass Speedling coming in. Cannons still not started. And I think that's all she wrote here for Motive. Looks like Saber is going to be able to take this one down. Hey, you know, you use a risky build like a 6-pool. And, you know, Motive, I don't think Motive played perfectly. If he had kept those Zealots at home and forced everything to get up, maybe he's in a slightly better position. But GG, Saber gets himself on the board.